Everywhere in the world, we can observe and be touched by acts of kindness. People from all walks of life, faiths and cultures extend themselves beyond the call of duty to help others unconditionally. Through their noble deeds, humanity as a whole is elevated. To commend virtuous actions and encourage more people to be inspired by their examples, Supreme Master Ching Hai has lovingly created a series of awards, including the Shining World Leadership Award, Shining World Compassion Award, Shining World Hero and Heroine Awards, Shining World Honesty Award, Shining World Protection Award, Shining World Intelligence Award, and Shining World Invention Award to recognise some of the most exemplary, generous, caring and courageous people who walk among us. On September 16, 2008, the Admirable Ronan Lee, Member of Parliament, Queensland, Australia, was honoured for the Shining World Hero Award from Supreme Master Ching Hai for courageously promoting the vegetarian diet and compassionately advocating conservation of our precious water resources. Mr. Lee has been a vegetarian for 15 years.
Firstly, didn't want to eat animals, and secondly, there are some wonderful environmental benefits in terms of, taking a couple of steps lower down the food chain.
In 2005, as a part of his support for the Water Amendment Bill, Mr. Lee spoke about the excessive amounts of water required to raise livestock and encouraged his fellow members of Parliament to reduce their meat intake in order to save water.
Why was it important for you to mention this to your fellow colleagues in Parliament?
Well, they didn't know, and the community didn't know, and everything comes with an environmental price. Beef production in particular is incredibly water intensive. It takes phenomenal amounts of water to produce just 1 kilogram of beef. The figures that I quoted in the Queensland Parliament at that time were sourced from Australia's CSIRO, the top scientists in Australia.
Mr. Lee is optimistic that the public will increasingly have a better understanding of how much water and energy inputs are actually involved in producing food and other products.
It's important that the community understands that the business as usual approach of wasting energy and wasting water and living well above our energy and water means is something that cannot continue long term, but it doesn't mean that your standard of living has to decrease at all. In fact, people's standards of living can increase as a result of the way we tackle climate change.
Parliament member Ronan Lee is a conscientious, caring member of society and has been serving the community as parliamentary member in Queensland since 2001. A dedicated environmentalist and vegetarian for over 15 years, Mr. Lee is active in protecting our natural world and its inhabitants.
We either tackle climate change head-on today and have a good outcome, or we're forced to tackle climate change in 15, 20, 30 years' time for a far less optimal outcome. It's, pretty straightforward as far as I'm concerned. Let's get into this and do all the things we need to do today and be ahead of the game. I must say in the future I think we'll be far more conscious of our use of water, far more conscious of our use of energy, and I think, as I said, we'll be living a bit more simply, and I think maybe we'll be a bit happier too.
Please stay with us for the awards ceremony to hear Mr. Lee's advice on how to better protect our environment. You're watching Supreme Master Television. We'll be right back. Welcome back to today's program featuring the Shining World Hero Award recipient, Mr. Ronan Lee, Member of the Queensland Parliament in Australia. Supreme Master Ching Hai recognised Mr. Lee as a Shining World Hero for courageously informing his colleagues about the livestock industry's intense use of water resources and for encouraging them to eat less meat.
Once you tell tell people what's going on. They start to think about these issues. In no way would I consider that one speech made a huge difference, but clearly one speech got people thinking. People started to think about their consumption of food.
Mr. Lee openly advocates vegetarianism as a way to stop global warming. He is a fervent protector of the environment and believes that all citizens can do their part to help reduce greenhouse gas emissions.
Do you have any words of advice for people who are considering reducing their impact on the environment?
The ways that you can reduce the impact on the environment starts at home. You've got to think about what you consume personally. Great way to do it is to cut down or stop eating meat entirely. Second thing you should think about is how you use transport. Transport in Australia is one of the major ways in which the community can do good things for the environment. Most car journeys, certainly in my city of Brisbane, are journeys of under 3 kilometres. Walking distance, really.
Our association members in Brisbane presented the award on behalf of Supreme Master Ching Hai to Mr. Ronan Lee and his Indooroopilly office.
Honourable Sir, it is with great pleasure and gratitude that we present to you the Shining World Hero Award. Thank you, Mr. Lee, for your loving concern and compassionate advocacy promoting the vegetarian diet as a path towards a sustainable future and a solution to the current water crisis, for encouraging a more loving and conscious use of our precious finite resources, and for your caring message to humanity urging change to an alternative diet for sustainability. We hereby applaud and celebrate the noble deeds of the Honourable Mr. Ronan Lee, MP, friend and champion of the animals and inspirational hero to us all. With great honour, love and blessings, Supreme Master Ching Hai. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Apart from the crystal plaque, Mr. Lee was also presented with the latest range of Supreme Master Ching Hai's #1 international best-selling books, The Noble Wilds, The Dogs in My Life and The Birds in My Life, as well as a hero jacket and DVDs and CDs of Supreme Master Ching Hai's poetry and music.
The first thing to say is thank you. It's a humbling experience. What I do is the job that the community expects of me, and I think that my message to other people in elected office around the world and within Australia is that the community is actually expecting a lot more from us than sometimes we know. They're looking for leadership on climate change. They're looking for us to be prepared to embrace change.
Thank you, the Honourable Member of Parliament Ronan Lee, for being a gallant voice for the people and the environment, for protecting our precious resources and advocating action on climate change challenges. We pray that all leaders will rise up to help shape a sustainable future for our planet's co-citizens.
Be veg, go green and help save the planet.
Please stay tuned for Words of Wisdom coming up next, right after Noteworthy News, here on Supreme Master Television. Wishing all beings ever more love, courage and wisdom in life.